Okay, so oh, excuse me, I had to pull my glasses up. So I'm gonna call this video story time with Fatima. So on my neck, I don't know if you can see it or not. You can see I had a trach in my, well, I guess that's below my neck. I had a trach. So back on January 1st, 2015, I was walking. It was nighttime. I was hit by a car. I was in a horrible accident. I was left in critical condition. And no, it wasn't a hit and run. I don't remember the accident. I don't remember January at all. Like when I woke up, I realized I was back into it. It was towards the end of January, so I don't recall the whole month of January. Like I had a whole bunch of dreams and stuff, but that's all I remember. Like I thought I was shot. Like I don't know, I was just so tripped out. Like I just do not remember. I was having like all these dreams and nightmares, and I was just so out of it. And when I woke up, it was like the end of January, and I was awake the whole time, but that's as far as I started remembering. Like, so what did I break? Oh, I had cervical fractures, so I wasn't supposed to bear weight on my legs for about 3 or 4 months, or I don't know how long it was, but I the impact was on my side, so half of my body is like looks really nice, and there's not a lot of scarring and stuff on my left side of my body, but on my right side, that's where the I took the impact, and I got a dent in my hip. I have a skin graft on my thigh to cover that dent up, and it's just it's really hard. And my right arm, I broke my right elbow. I've had two surgeries on it. The first one they did at the hospital. The second one, when I went to rehab, they had to do another surgery. So it was just it was a lot. I was in every week I was in surgery. Like mom told me my first surgery lasted about 10 hours, and I was just like, oh my gosh. She's like, you went in there, you didn't have no trach, nothing. You came out, you had a trach. It was like 10 hours long. And it's hard, because I have a 2-year-old son. His name is Amir, and that's my baby. And when I got back to, that's all I could think, like, where's my baby at? What happened to my baby? Like, I want to see my baby, because like, oh, talking about him, that boy gets me so emotional. Like when I talk about him, and when I think, like, even though I'm in this horrible condition, all I thought about was my son, because like I'm all he has. Like his dad and stuff doesn't want nothing to do with him or me, or I don't care that he doesn't want to deal with me, but he don't even want to deal with him. So I'm like all he has is me. Like he doesn't have a dad, and now he's not gonna have a mom. Like that's all I was thinking about. I was just so sad. I wanted to see my son. I could not see him. He was not allowed in there. Um, he was not allowed in there. I was in SICU, so he was not allowed in there. I just could not see my son. But my mom was there every day. My brother, my oldest brother was visiting me like almost every day. Like like he was in there a lot, and I was just like so thankful. And my sister would come visit me, and my niece Ayana, she would come. I mean, she didn't come, but I heard that she called me. Like she even told me too. She was like, I was always calling you and everything. I was like, oh, that's so great, because I was paralyzed. I mean, I can't say that you know what? I can't say that I wasn't paralyzed, but I can't say that I was, because I could not move. I could not feel or anything. Like I could not move or anything. I woke up, I had this big ass cast on my arm. Like it wasn't a cast, but this thing was huge. Like I'm telling you, this thing had to be like 5 or 10 pounds, because this shit was so heavy, and it was just like my whole arm, my hands was covered in it, except my finger. Like it was like literally like wrapped around my fingers, wrapped around my hand, wrapped around my elbow. It went all the way up to damn near my shoulder. Like that shit was huge, and I was like, oh my god, I could not feel, I could not move. These people were poking me with needles, trying to get my blood. I'm just like, I couldn't feel it though, but I was tired of them poking me with them damn needles. I couldn't feel nothing, and I remember my first movement. I was able to squeeze my mom's finger. I was just squeeze her finger, because that was like my first something that actually came back. Me squeezing her finger with my hand. I mean, it's not hard to talk about anymore, but it was just like, I can't believe I went through all that, like I had so many stitches. Like I had stitches coming around my left hip to my back, all the way my back, all the way to my right side. And just that dent, that dent, it kind of makes me a little, I'm a confident person, but that dent, it does leave me a bit insecure because it's like, you went from being from having this nice beautiful skin, and then you just all messed up. And I'm just like, wow, like your body, there's scars everywhere, like my ankles, ankles and bruises and stuff. And it's just like, when you make it and you survive being hit by a car, you don't care. But then when you get back into reality, you're like, oh my god, like, these scars make me who I am, and I survived. But you're like, I have all these scars and I have a dent. You just think like, who's gonna want to accept me for who I am, even though this happened to me? It's just, it makes it a lot harder. And so basically, I it took me a while to get feeling back everything. I couldn't talk, I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink. I was just so freaking hungry, and they feed you like I had a G tube in my stomach, that's where you get all your meds and all your food. And I'm just like, I'm so hungry. I was throwing up. I threw up so much, like, and that's the only thing I could taste. And that shit was nasty. It tasted like what's that stuff that they getting older people when they don't want to eat? It tastes like some Ensure. That shit was nasty as hell. And I can only taste it when I throw up. When I throw up, I can taste my meds too. And I couldn't swallow. Oh my god, I couldn't swallow, couldn't drink, couldn't eat. I was just slobbering the whole time because I could not swallow. Like, that trick. I couldn't swallow, talk, nothing. I'm lip talking to people and everything because I could not talk. I'm like, what the hell? So, okay. So in February, I got, they took me to med surge. And I like SICU, med surge. I had this one nurse. He was a man. He was like this big, tall, big old white man. And he will always be at work. I'm telling you, like, he will always be at work. And he was my nurse, and I did not like him. And he probably didn't like me either. We probably had the same, well, I couldn't talk. And he would, like, always be at work. I'm like, damn, this is the one nurse I can't stand. His ass always in there. Him and his older white lady, him at night shit, she always telling me sad stories. I'm like, I don't want to hear this stuff. I was talking to my mom one day. I was like, please, tell the lady, stop talking about all this sad stuff. I'm in a hospital. This is sad. Now you gonna talk about your sad? I was like, do you know they talked about everything up in my room? Like, God, like, man, like, don't go to the hospital. Like, don't get hurt, nothing, because unless you got some bomb insurance and got some good old money, because it is not worth it. People will treat you any kind of way because you're in the hospital, you can't talk, nothing. I'm just like, man, oh God, I just could not stand that nurse either. He just got on my nerve. I would be calling him even though I couldn't talk. I would be, this is my sound. He would just be ignoring me, and his ass would be outside of my room, and I'd just be like, I need to get bathed, whatever. Like, I don't know, whatever I was asking them. They're like, oh, we need all these people and stuff. And I'm just like, they thought I was like 5'10". I'm like, man, I'm 5'4", maybe 5'5", but I'm like 5'4". Like, well, it's probably because I couldn't move. So okay. So I went to rehab. In the end of February, I went to an acute rehab. I didn't know what they were going to do because I couldn't move and I couldn't feel nothing. So, you just don't know what they're going to do to you. And they were telling my mom, like, we don't even know if she's going to come back or anything. So I was considered incomplete quad because I started getting feeling back, but I still couldn't move. It took me a really long time to move. Like, the first things that came back was my feeling. Well, before my feeling came back, my whole body would just be on fire, and I would just be in so much pain. I dealt with a lot of pain. I'm still dealing with pain, shoot. The pain has not ended, okay? And the first one I got was like in March. After I was able to squeeze the finger, was in March. I went to Mama Linda rehab or whatever. That's a really good acute rehab. I mean, there's people in there like that can't walk and stuff, but there's people in there that can walk and that just need help with certain things. You know, brain injury, strokes, all different types of stuff. And I liked it. I got my own room. You know, they had internet on the TV, movie channel. Their channel selection was like they're 7 day Adventist, so I respect it. And their food was like I like the tuna sandwich. I love the tuna sandwich. That was like my favorite thing to eat. Like they had tuna sandwich chips as well. I was like, I'm hungry. And their fruit. Oh, and the cheesecake. I don't know, like for that, I started eating in March, the beginning of March, and once I started eating, I would always get food and give it to tell my mom to give this to my son. Like I would just be like, okay, have some chips. They had gummy bears in it, like it was like vegetarian gummy bears or something. I would just be like, oh, give this to my son, give him the chips, give him the juice. I finally got to see him my last day at the hospital in February. I finally got to see him, and mom showed me a picture of him, and he just smiled. He was so happy, and I was just like, man, finally, like, man. So in March, I was able to I was going through therapy. I was able to start moving my hand a little bit. Like I was able to start lifting it up, but it took a really long time. Like I didn't get out the hospital until they got out the hospital to May. So it was a really long time. Like I really went through a lot, and it just took a long time. And even to come back now, I think I got out the hospital like May 4th, 2015. That's when I got out the hospital. And it's just been a really long journey. I couldn't feed myself, nothing out of the hospital. I couldn't do nothing for myself. I could barely even move, and couldn't feed myself. I could eat and drink, so it was like I needed like basically 24-hour care. I had to be turned like every 2 hours because I couldn't move. But my top half I could feel. So everything is coming back. So now, fast forward, we're in January, and my left hand had came back. So my left hand is all cool. Like I'll show you. Like this is the hand I'm recording with. Oh, you can't even see it. I wish you could. Maybe I'll get on my computer and show you guys all my scars one day. This is my right hand. Like I have it on a brace right now. I don't know if this is a good camera to be doing all this with. I have it on a brace. This is a brace right now to get my wrist. It's not bending backwards. Like I had a whole bunch of surgery. Besides the 2 surgeries on my elbow, the second surgery, it left me in so much pain. I was like, give me some pain. So the pain stuff that they got were super. But I had this brace on because my right hand, my right wrist, it bends a little bit, but before it wasn't bending at all because it was in the cast so long. I didn't get the cast off until like I got surgery again in April. I got surgery again in March. My cast didn't come out to April, so I was in the cast for like 4 months. So it really messed my hand up. It made my hand get really stiff. So now I'm in a lot better position because I went from being an incomplete cod to incomplete. Now I'm incomplete paraplegic, and I can move my legs and stuff, and I go through a lot of tingling, burning sensation. But I realize that that's a good thing because it means everything is coming back. So, and I lost a lot of weight too because I wasn't eating, obviously. I think I lost like 40 pounds, 40, almost 50 pounds total. And when I start walking, I probably need to lose like 10, 15 pounds. Maybe 20 if I really want to be slim, but I'm just saying as far as, I lost a lot of weight and, you have to get back because it's hard to walk when you have a whole bunch of weight. You have to put the sweat on your feet and it's like, how are you going to walk? You're holding all this, sorry, I keep fixing my glasses. Maybe I should have worn contacts for the video, but that would have been doing too much. But yeah, it's like, it makes it harder to carry all that weight because you haven't been standing up in a long time. And it took me a while. I had a power chair, use a sliding board, everything. It's just been such a long, dragging journey. And my insurance is not the best. And I don't even want to talk about my insurance, because I'm blessed to have, like, before I got my accident, I had insurance. So they basically paid for everything, all the surgeries I needed. So that is the blessing part. And they got me my power chair and stuff. but I'm getting better and I'm improving. And the stuff that I need now is not the same stuff I needed then, so it makes it harder. But I'm a lot better. Like, I just think it took so long because my muscles had to come back. It's like they call it muscle memory. So it took a lot, and now I feel like this year it's my comeback. Like last year I spent a lot of time healing. Well, I was healed when I got out of the hospital, like all my wounds, everything was healed, but I just couldn't do nothing. So it was like this year I feel like this year is my comeback. Like I just started school on Wednesday. What was Wednesday? I don't know what Wednesday was. I think it was the January. So I just started school, and I feel like this year's my comeback. And therapy's been going really well. Physical therapy. I only get 30 minutes on that. I only got 6 sessions. Like I'm telling you, my insurance, man. Like when you trying to get better, that's why I say don't get hurt, because when you trying to get better, mo folks ain't gonna be there for you. Best believe that one. Okay, so. Yeah, I'm an incomplete spinal cord injury, and this is my story. And if you have any questions, just feel free to ask me, because I'll let you know.